What's up, y'all? Welcome to another review by Ryan and a very happy Friday. It is Friday, September 16th, and I hope you all are doing well at the time that you find this video reaction. This video will be posted a little later than I was hoping for today. Two reasons. First, because of the fact that the sites that I pull the overlay from have not yet posted today's episode, and second, because I actually have to go to a work obligation as soon as I finish this first part. So I want to at least get this part out the way, and then in the next part I'll do the episode itself and post reaction. But alas, congratulations, welcome, give yourself a pat on the back, clap, cheer, scream, do whatever you need to. We've made it to the final episode of this incredibly painful and insufferable season of Rent-A-Girlfriend. So, and I say that, but there have obviously been good points of this season. And, me being a Team Ruka fan, I took a lot of wins this season. And also, when I really think about it, I took an equal amount of losses. But the MVP of this entire season, even before we watched this final episode, was none other than Ruka. Ruka really stood out. She was incredibly thorough with her feelings, with her emotions, with the thoughts and beliefs that she has. And then it sealed the deal with how she responded to the inevitability that we found that Chizuru was getting ready to lose her grandma. And the decency that she did in response to that pretty much sealed the deal that Ruka had a really good season. Now, I understand that people with Ruka's personalities aren't particularly... Some of you aren't very fond of that, and particularly with the kissing thing, some of you were very vocal about the fact that she basically raped this man in a way. And, I get that, but I've always said that all fault, when it ultimately comes down to things, really does fall squarely on Kazuya for not dealing with what he needed to deal with in the early stages. He should have never given someone like Ruka an opportunity to believe that she even remotely had a chance, but he did. He agreed to it. Now, yes, you'll say, well, she blackmailed him. He still could have said no, should have said no, didn't say no, and let it continue going. So again, I get where y'all are getting, but with someone like Ruka, and if we haven't learned now, then I don't know what to tell you. Ruka will understand a situation if he is consistent with what he's trying to do. He's been all wishy-washy for a vast majority of 2 seasons now about how he feels. Yes, he stated that he's not really interested in Ruka, but he still agreed to the deal. And so, when the man was groveling earlier in the season, asking Ruka to spend time with another girl, I think any one of y'all that's a female that's in a situation like him, or if you were a guy that was a female, or just anyone that's in a situation like that, would have done a similar thing or been equally frustrated if those were the cards that you were handed. Of course, I'll say that I hope that you would also have been mature enough not to associate yourself with someone like Kazuya to start with. So, but I continue to hold to everything I've said in the previous reactions. I believe that Ruka was easily the MVP of this season. She really showed up and showed out. And above all, she did the one thing we've been waiting for everyone to do, and that is she put mommy in her damn place. And I was so pleased for that. And that alone catapulted Ruka into the best girl of this season. Now, off of Ruka and just on to how everything else went. This was honestly not a good season. And, there were obviously good moments. We had the moments that happened with him and Sumi last episode, which, of course, this was pretty much a repeat of how things in season 1 went, where Sumi was I think, first introduced at that time in episode 11. Of course, the only difference is we had an appearance from Mommy. We did not have to deal with Mommy this time around, thank goodness, because she should stay gone for the rest of this season. I'm hoping in today's episode also. But, the thing with Sumi is, I've said this multiple episodes now, I love Sumi to death. She's an absolute gem. She's such a precious girl. She needs to be protected with everyone, by everyone. But I just don't want her messing with Kazuya because these are broken people. And yes, there is the saying that, broken people can help each other understand what's going on and possibly help each other in the end, and it equally doesn't work that way, and more so than not, it ends up working in the exact opposite way. If 2 broken people get with each other, well, the brokenness is still going to exist, and you're still going to have to see someone and get some help for it. And, for really everyone, more so than just Kazuya, everyone needs a therapist, and everyone needs help in this. But Kazuya finds a way to make what should not be an awkward situation, what should just be general dialogue. And no matter, even with Sumi, the man finds a way to try to almost make things difficult. And Sumi is trying her damn hardest, especially in that last episode, to be the great girl that we all know she is. And again, I confess, that was a really nice moment that they had in the park after the date finished. And, you know, it was really nice. It was really precious. It was wholesome. It was sweet. But I still hold to reason that Kazuya's actions, a lot of what he does is a lot of deep-rooted mental issues that he needs to get help for before he's trying to help someone else like Sumi, and especially before he's trying to take on someone like Chizuru, who literally is getting ready to lose her grandmother and cannot go through anything more stressful. And we know that she's about to. So, you know, I just look at all the parties here. Ruka, which with her heart syndrome and with just having a weak heart in general. And then, of course, her infatuation over Kazuya. That's also unhealthy. And I want to see her be happy and be the great best girl that she is, but just away from him. And then you have Mommy, that's just the spawn of freaking Satan. She's literally Satan's child. So, you know, everyone needs help. And I really feel that it all comes down to one thing. I don't agree with the way that the author wrote this damn show. Like, I feel that the author has gone on record and said that Chizuru is his best girl, that is the ideal girl that he would want to be with. And out of everyone, she has truly gotten cut the worst in this entire season. She didn't catch a break when she did her act and got overlooked. She's had to deal with his childish ass shit. She can't trust her friends, because she's scared of what her friends are going to think if she discloses the type of work that she's doing and why she's doing this. And then the one person that knows the most about her, the one person that she's trying to confide into, she's trying to open the door to, keeps being a dick all the time. And it's just so frustrating. And it really is the writing. These girls are good girls in their own right. Particularly, again, I guess excluding Mommy. And I know that for some of you that are source material readers, that there is more story that has been unveiled about why she acts that way. I more or less was spoiled to what was discovered. I'm not going to discuss that for the purposes of this video, and I don't know anything that happened immediately before or after, but all I'm going to say is for all of you that are source material readers, I know what happened. I know why Mommy is this way. It's still not acceptable. She needs to get the help that she desperately deserves to get through this hurdle in her life. And her doing the bullshit that she does in this show is unacceptable. Do not support it. Do not use what her backstory is as a catalyst or a reason for her to continue being this way. It's been 2 seasons now. This girl's stalking people's families on Instagram and Twitter and whatever she's going to be stalking them on, and being the spiteful little demon that she is. It's not cool, and she needs to do better, and she needs to move on. And she needs help, and she deserves to get help. See, this is the thing. Even with someone like Mommy, I say this very aggressively, but I want to see her get the help that she desperately deserves, as everyone needs. Goodness knows when Chizuru's grandma eventually passes, that girl's going to need all the help that she can get. And and this is where I said, when it happens, if it happens at the end of this season or the beginning of the 3rd season, which, plot twist, that was announced just about an hour ago. Yep, 3rd season's coming. Yay. Anyway, regardless of when it happens, if he does anything to make her feel worse than she already is, or he finds a way to make it about himself, I will fail this show, and depending on how bad it is, I'll fail it with a 4. So, but yeah, so those are my initial thoughts going into this episode. You know, I have very low expectations going into this season finale, but the door has been opened a few times this season, and if Kazuya can find a way to be consistently decent for the entirety of this episode, to actually help Chizuru in the way that he claims he has found. He claims he's found a way and knows what he needs to do to help her. If he can be decent and this entire episode can actually be good, I might, just on the great weight of how great Ruka was this season for me, find a way to squeeze out a passing score and give the show a 6. If he falters even slightly, I'm giving the show a 5. And if he falters big time, I'm giving the show a 4. So that is where we're at, guys, and I am, at the end of the day, excited and equally already pissed, getting ready to do the season finale, and I'm just ready to get this party started. So that's my initial thoughts, and of course, before we start the reaction, it is time for the weekly rating checkup, and I want to let y'all guys know this will be the final rating checkup for the summer season. I will end the rating checkup when I end my reaction to this show. So for any show that is continuing, I will not talk about how the ratings are going. The next time I'll make a video on the weekly checkup will be when we get our anime of the season awards from the various popularity sites, and that is also when I will announce my personal top 10 shows for the anime season for the summer. So as always, you do not have to listen to this segment. I don't know if I'm going to premiere this video because of time or if I'm just going to release it straight up. If I am premiering this video, probably wait about 15 minutes and come back and I'll be starting on the reaction. And if you're watching this reaction out of premiere or just from a straight release, please go to the description and click on the appropriate chapter item to start the reaction or to hear my post thoughts for the show. So guys, welcome to the last one of this year from my channel for the summer 2022 season. This has truly been an interesting season, and we've actually had some unsung warriors that have done a really, really good job being great shows, and some of those shows have definitely shown in the top 10 for this season, and we're just going to go ahead and look at those. I'll let you know my thoughts, and we'll go from there. So, as always, we're going to start with Anime Corner, and a big thank you to the over 21,000 respondents, considerably more than the previous week. 21,655 of you responded to Anime Corner, so a big thank you to all of you who responded, and we have a huge shakeup at the top. Number one, popping up from the end to the top, Overlord, Season 4, a show that I have not fucking watched, and I am crucified for it on the daily basis by my good friend that I have not watched the 4th season of Overlord. I understand that I guess Albedo had a wonderful presentation, and it was wonderful enough that it shot it up over freaking Takana saving her girl. So, Overlord is your number one show with almost 9% of the votes, 8.97% of the votes to be precise. And number two is Licorice Recoil, which as of right now, I do believe will still remain my number one original anime of the summer season. It won't be my number one of the season in general, but that is solely because of Made in Abyss. With that said, Licorice Recoil had a phenomenal episode, and as y'all heard me say, Takana has completely abandoned her duties with DA because she does not want to leave Chisato by herself, possibly to die in this tower. And of course, her busting into the scene catapulted Licorice almost to the same score as Overlord. So really, we damn near had a tiebreaker between Overlord the 4th season and Licorice Recoil. But Licorice Recoil did fall one spot in the number 2 spot with 8.93% of the votes. Call of the Night. Call of the Night had a really good episode yesterday, and for some of you, I learned that the detective girl is actually your favorite girl from the source material, so I'm very happy for you. While I do love her, she's not my number one, but I do love her. I love the mysterious detective aspect. I always love that type of stuff. So she was definitely a great appearance, and we now know that she is actually against the vampires, and she is trying to find a way to deal with them, and, you know, she did help put the person who accidentally was turned into a vampire that never wanted to be, she helped him be put to rest as a human. We also learned some very interesting things there with how vampires can actually be dealt with, because to this point, it looks like in non-traditional vampire sense, the vampires do not disintegrate and disappear during the daylight. They don't like being out in the daylight, but they don't disintegrate. But we learned here that there is a way for vampires to disappear. So regardless, Call of the Night did end up in number 3 and topped off your top 3 shows of the this past week of week 11. And it was a really, really enjoyable show, and I really enjoyed watching it. Classroom of the Elite Season 2 ended up coming in number 4, dropping 2 spots with 5.65% of the votes. I think I speak on behalf of the entire Classroom of the Elite community when I say that was a painful episode. That was a really rough episode. No matter how you felt about Kay from Season 1 up to this point, that was a rough episode to watch. You know, watching someone get waterboarded in the way that was happening. It was quite frankly, it was a gut punch. And you know, I know that Ruin is about to get his. He is absolutely about to pay the price for doing what he did to Kay. But we are definitely getting to a very big moment in that show. A lot of you keep yelling rooftop scene, rooftop scene, rooftop scene, and I'm trying to avoid the spoilers, and so far I still had. It was clear at the end of the episode that I guess they are heading to the rooftop, and all I know is shit is about to hit the fan in Classroom of the Elite, and it was definitely a solid but equally depressing episode, especially for those of you that are diehard K fans. So I definitely think that, you know, we needed to see where the stakes were, how far people are willing to go to achieve what they need to. And it's very clear that at this point he's become desperate. And when you become desperate, you become sloppy. And putting your hands on another person's tool is about to prove to be Ruin's biggest mistake that I cannot wait to see in next week's episode. And so that was your number 4 show of the Anime Corner top 10 for this past week. In number 5, My Stepmom's Daughter Is My Ex went up 1 spot with 4.77% of the votes. And also, I believe that for those of you that really went in on Yume after how we learned about how the relationship ended the first time, this was redemption for her. And if it wasn't redemption to her in your eyes, then I don't know what to tell you. I truly do believe that we really saw the weight of the mistakes that she made in their first relationship really weighed heavily on her soul. It was really nice of Mizuto to give her that moment because he knew what she was feeling, because he himself has been feeling this regret this entire time. And for the both of them, they really needed what happened in this episode. So this was your number 5 Anime Corner show for this past week, again with 4.77% of the votes. Shadows House Season 2, again, it's the only show on this list actively I cannot talk about because I still have not watched it, but it has been getting raving reviews. You guys have really been enjoying it. It has been a consistent entry into the top 10, and it was your number 6 show with 4.48% of the votes. Engage Kiss took more of a turn for the worse differently this time, and for all of you who are watching Engage Kiss, you will know the ending sucked. All the stuff that I've had to say about his demon, about good old Kista, everything that I've had to say about her, I am sorry. I really am sorry. Like, you know, I've spoken very ill about her. Maybe not so much on my reactions, but in person, I've spoken particularly ill of her. She apparently had worked the contract the entire time from the very beginning to ensure that there was a way for him to get all the memories that she took back. I always had my suspicions, but we saw it come into play, and all of you know that we had a rough episode which ended in just the worst possible way now for her, because she's now lost everything as a result of his confession and then the subsequent events that followed. So it was definitely a very powerful and strong episode this week, and it did get number 7 in the top 10 with 4.36% of the votes. Number 8, Summertime Rendering. I am very happy after 2 seasons to tell you guys I have almost completely caught up to Summertime Rendering. At the time of this reaction, I have watched 20 episodes of the show, and I have gotten to the part where we said goodbye to Hizuru. And I am not okay. I'm not okay. Summertime Rendering has shocked the actual hell out of me how good it actually has been. The fact that this show has gone 20 episodes, and where many shows recently can get to this point in their showing and they get weaker, Summertime Rendering has gotten stronger. It is such a strong show. It is such a strongly written show. And I would go as far as to say, from the supernatural and time travel spectrum of this genre, this is one of the best. This is one of the best I have watched in this genre. Period. It's amazing. You guys were absolutely right about your thoughts about this show. Some of you reached out in some other channels that I just show my reactions on and told me that I really needed to hurry up and I really needed to watch the summertime rendering, and you were absolutely right. And the biggest thing that I can say to y'all is I'm so sorry that I didn't watch it in the spring, but you can blame Crunchyroll and High Dive and everybody for not properly showing it and for it being gatekept by freaking Disney Plus Japan. But what a monumental show it has been, and honestly, I believe it's much higher than number 8. But again, all of the shows that we've discussed had really, really good episodes, and it's just, I'm incredibly impressed. What a great production Summertime Rendering has been. But it was your number 8 show with 3.85% of the votes. And for all of you that have been keeping up with this show up to date, I hope you guys have had an absolute blast. Especially as much as I have, being able to binge up to this point. And I know that as of yesterday, the 23rd episode, which I believe is also the pre-finale for the show, did come out. I am planning to finish this show after I finish my reaction and assembling everything with the reaction together today. In number 9, the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. Powerful. Just powerful revelations in that with Kirishima and Yaika. And I feel that I think all of us that are watching this show and all of you that are watching the show will agree with me. We held our breath that entire scene when Kirishima was about to make a very tragic mistake. And I'm so grateful that his Russian roulette plan failed. And Yaika deserves the absolute world, and she's such a precious gem. And she is honestly one of the biggest precious gems of this entire summer season. And I'm going to have to really think long and hard about where Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting is going to rank, and if it's going to be in my top 10 when it's all said and done for this season. Phenomenal episode, joining a very phenomenal week of anime that we had, and it was your number 9 show with 3.77% of the votes. And last but not least, another powerful episode from Vermeil and Gold. When I tell you that the last 3 episodes, things have completely shifted to the worst. We did get to see Vermeil's background and her backstory, and since I've pretty much spoiled everything else on this list, I'm just assuming that you all have watched these shows. If you haven't, I'll make sure by the time you get to this point you know that I'm spoiling stuff, so I'll put a spoiler warning at the beginning of this before y'all start watching this. But for all of you that knew, in Vermeil and Gold, her original family was hung after they were accused of hiding a witch, and I was expecting their family's house to get burned down. I was not expecting the sight of seeing all the bodies, including the kids, being hung. That was incredibly hard to see. It was rough, and for poor Vermeil, she deserved so much better than what she actually ended up getting. But, it's just the circumstances the cards that she was handed were not fair cards. And it was a rough episode, and it was your number 10 show in Anime Corner with 3.74% of the votes, ending off the top 10 list. So, all 10 of these shows in the list, even Shadow's House, which I haven't watched, but I'm going to assume has been equally of quality, deserve to be in the list. Obviously, my number 1 show of the season still remains out of Anime Corner's list, and again, that's just because you guys hate me to this, but it is what it is, and I've just come to accept that. So, that is your top 10 for Anime Corner, and as I always do, I will put Anime Trending up on the screen for comparison purposes. For the 3rd week at number 1 was Call of the Night, which, it's edged out Licorice for a number of weeks now. So it's been number 1 for Anime Trending, and number 2 was Shadow's House. It's its 2nd week in the number 2 spot. In the number 3, it was Vermeil and Gold, going up 3 spots from the previous week. Licorice Recoil also went back up 3 spots into the number 4 spot. The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting is in number 5. It's its 2nd week in the number 5 spot. My Stepmom's Daughter Is My Ex came in at number 6, going up 3 spots. Classroom of the Elite went up 1 spot, going up into the number 7 spot. Made in Abyss, the Golden City of the Scorching Sun, fell 4 spots. You guys are absolutely out of your fucking minds, but alas, it is what it is. It fell 4 spots for some odd reason. Number 9 was Overlord, the 4th season, coming onto number 9, going up 1 spot from the number 10 spot. And again, that's a big difference from where Overlord was in Anime Corner, but also this one came out on Sunday of the previous week, of this past Sunday, and the Anime Corner ratings are fresh as of today. So that includes the most recent episode, so of course there would be a difference there. And then last but not least on their list, in number 10 is Engage Kiss, falling 7 spots from the previous week. So this is our weekly rating check-in, and this is the final weekly rating check-in. So if you have listened to these rating check-ins, as always, I hope your show made the top 10. If it did not make the top 10, I hope you guys have been enjoying this summer season. So I cannot wait to talk about the anime of the seasons when we do get to that point, and I will also unveil my top 10 at that time. So with that said, we've done a lot of talking, we've gone through all the ratings, and we've steeled our hearts and resolved ourselves to the fact that whatever travesty is about to happen in Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 2's finale, we must watch and get to the end. So next up is the reaction. I'm going to go put some eye drops in the eye, and we will get this season finale started. Alright guys, I'm back. It is time for the finale. I've decided to just go ahead and watch this straight from Crunchyroll, so if there's a slight sync issue when I do sync the overlay video when it does become available, I do apologize. I'll do everything I can to make sure that there is not a sync issue, but we will go ahead and watch this episode straight from Crunchyroll. Episode 12, the season finale of this absolute abomination. The title of the episode is Girlfriend and Me. Will Kazuya save the season for me? Will he make it so I can give this a 6? We'll find out. In 3, 2, 1. I have to restart. That's what I get for trying to be funny. I have no subtitles on. Stand by. All right, let's go ahead and get this reaction started. In 3, 2, 1. Of course, she's at the hospital. Oh, she's not gonna make it past the end of the episode. I know it's gonna be bad. This is nice to see we're back at the acting school now, because we haven't got to see too much of this since the beginning of the season. Yes, she does. And she has to babysit a freaking grown adult. Let's not forget that. Yeah. All right. Oh no. And all this was being done so that... And don't get down on yourself, my girl. You have literally worked your ass off. And we acknowledge all your hard work. Oh, she did get picked. Thank goodness for that, at least. Fuck! Damn, she keeps getting cooked this season. I want my girl to catch a break. And sadly, that is how that world is, though. I mean, it is so hard to get into the acting world. So freaking hard. Oh. Aw. She was a whole delinquent. Ah! Hey now. Sadly, just the one man that's in your life right now is a freaking idiot. Or maybe not so much a delinquent. I might take that back. She's just tired of people be messing with her. Very big difference. Okay, so no, I'm so sorry. I definitely said delinquent just because she had that one altercation, but she has always been about getting into the acting life, which we pretty much already knew. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. So she was in it the whole time. No wonder she's trying to impress her. So after that, she steeled her resolve. As she would soon come to learn. Hey, you kind of do have to have the balance of two, though. Yes. The same thing that's said to athletes that you have to have a backup if it doesn't work out, or get a trade, or any of the things. A cynical child. Oh, for the peace card. Oh, sugar is so precious, I swear. Yeah. No! Every time! Every time! Damn, I unplugged my damn thing. Damn. These damn cars, trucks, vehicles. Damn. That man was hyping her up, man. Bruh, Chizuru has always been working her hardest trying to overcome the odds. He should have still been with us. Oh my god, don't do this. That ain't right, man. That ain't right, man. I know her grandma, and I know her grandma never. Chizuru, don't beat yourself down. Like, bruh, she's had so much weighing on her. Has not been able to catch a break. Mm. This is not the time. Listen, if you're gonna be here, my dude, just be decent. That's all. That's all I ask of you. Just be decent, please. If there's any moment that I can ask you to be a good person, it's right now. Crowdfunding. To beat her before she passes. Finally, doing something that's going to actually be of genuine benefit to her. Good for you. And that's why him doing this, because him shouting and doing all that was just like her grandpa. That's fine. You've mentioned it. That's fine. Don't push it and go back to your room. No, it's fine. You were decent there. Yeah. Trust me, no one knows the clock is ticking more than she does. I guarantee you that. Come on, my dude. Why did it have to be a shower? Why do you have to be this way? This is not the time. Yes, but if you can start from this point forward and just being what you keep saying out your mouth you want to be, there can be hope even for you. It's a much better percentage than what the normal percentage is. Oh. So she was the one who bought up the crowdfunding. Good for you, Sumi. Continuing to save the freaking day. I don't either. If she's not even able to keep food down, we're talking possibly weeks. I think it's an offer you should think about. To me, saying that there's something that he offered you should actually think about. That's probably it. Go open the door. So bad I have to feel like I have to walk this man through just doing normal things. This is where you have to not be about any bullshit, my dude. Like, dead serious. Because you'll piss me off. Zero bullshit. Because goodness knows if anyone needs to catch a break through all this, it's freaking Chizuru. My goodness. You better follow through. All right. You said it. You said it yourself, my dude. All I got to say is if you mess this up, if you don't execute, I'll probably never forgive you. I'll rape bomb this show into oblivion if you fuck this up. Because after what we just saw with her grandpa and why she has such a deep resolve she does, more so than just her grandma being an actress herself, this girl needs a break. Oh my goodness, she needs a break. Oh boy, and there's more time in the timer, so let's all remember what happened the last time we were left off with a timer. We ended up getting, never mind, so. But I think that this is a lot more serious than that, so I'm hoping that that will not be even close to the case and he'll execute. Whew. Goodness, the animation on that kiss sequence. All right. Or we're going to get to see the movie right at the end. So they'll just fast track through it. Not right now, Ruka. Not right now. Not right now. And thank you for bringing up the suggestion, Sumi. Great suggestion. Here goes evil fast hyper, wannabe overlord of whatever. Yes, you have no life. You just realized? Trust me, my girl. You were ready to just completely break. Enjoy the rest of this dream with Diamond. I can't believe I'm about to do this, guys. Kudos to a good finale. That was a good finale. I can't believe that I'm saying good with this show, but I asked for what was needed from this episode. I asked for decency. I did not expect we were going to get a full backstory like that with Chizuru. It was tragic seeing that it was really her grandpa that was the one who truly pushed her to continue her dream, while her grandma was the one that was really kind of not really for or against, because she knows how savage the industry can be as an actress in general. Truck-kun once again finds a way to take people away from us. That sucked. I'm so sorry. I did not expect to have the breakdown like I did right there. That was not expected in this show. But because I thought that was going to be us saying goodbye to her grandma, not us getting the flashback and then subsequently saying goodbye to the grandpa and the one who really pushed her to pursue her dreams. So that was an amazing presentation. I actually have to say that was perfect, that entire Chizuru segment. And if I had to go a step further in saying that this episode was the best episode that this series has given us, and is the episode where it feels the most growth has occurred at, it was. I will go on record to say it was. So, I did not expect to be this lost about my rating. I did not expect this episode. So, I'm now faced with, does this one, I'd say 10 out of 10 episode, strong arm the other 11 episodes of chaos enough that I can give the show a passing score? I know one thing for a fact, a 4 is off the table. So we are now looking at either a 5 or a 6. So let's recap everything that we've experienced up to this point. We have obviously had a Team Ruka season. Rukas has had a great influence in the entire presentation of the second season. She allowed him to spend more time with Chizuru. We saw her taking an incredible amount of initiative in the second half of the season, especially after the birthday and family part where we really had major revelations. And she obviously, and of course the biggest segment with her was taking Mommy down a whole bunch of levels and relegating her to being a social media stalker, because that's all her worth seems to be. And it's nice that Mommy even said that she has no life. We had the segment of Mommy where Mommy was the headliner for several episodes, particularly going to the house, kind of seeing that Chizuru had been to the house, kind of really egging things along there, approaching Kazuya about that, calling him out on his lies and bullshit, and all the way to where she had her final interaction with Chizuru on the train. We have Sumi, that she had more appearances this season than she had in the first season. So kudos there. Sumi had, I was about to say Sumeri. I think of Love. Sumi had a lot more appearances this time around. Now, yes, her appearances still seem to be more or less insignificant to the other characters, but we can't even say that anymore, because now we know that the revelations and the conversation that her and Kazuya had in episode 11 led to him thinking of the idea of crowdfunding. And of course, she told him to do the work himself to see what that was about and to see if that was something that could genuinely work. And it's now clear that he actually did do the work and investigating into if that would be a suitable thing. And then we have Chizuru, who, this poor girl that's now a woman, has literally been through the motions. She wanted to make her grandma proud, she wanted to make her grandpa proud, and she wanted to make herself proud. She didn't grow up with her parents. She came from just a really bad situation, it seems, and she really was trying to make a name for herself. Chizuru has, while she's been weak, she's also been very strong, and she was very dedicated in wanting to do this. And, when you lose such a monumental figure like that in your life, it is painful. It's painful. It's hard to accept. It's a bitter pill to swallow. And, you know, losing that big support like that can always be a downer. I'm sure that for both Chizuru and for her grandma, they lost a huge piece of themselves. Her grandma probably never recovered from that, and I can assume that that led to her inevitable decline of her health, probably even faster than she already normally would have declined at her age. So, you know, it was just devastating seeing that, and that really culminates everything that had been said about her grandma, talking to Kazuya and telling him about how, you know, she really is needy at the end of the day, and everything that she feels, she hasn't caught a break through the course of her life. And this is where I now bring us back to Kazuya. If Kazuya is going to be that one, if he wants to genuinely 100% be that one to be her support, be her strength, be her rock. Hold through with promises that you make. Don't go back on them. When you say things to her, don't waste her time, and don't waste your time, and don't waste anybody else's time. Be consistent with those words, because this girl, this woman, is literally understanding that her grandma's days are numbered. That after this happens, she has no one. And if you want to be that person that will be that someone to her to help her through that, then you need to be consistent with your words and your actions, and you need to stop the bullshit from this point forward. You need to stop it. So I am very pleased with his presentation and his offer to her this episode. So pleased that the show is out of a 5 territory now. So what that means is not going to get a straight 5. I cannot ignore the fact that his presentation was still mostly abysmal this season, and in many cases even worse than the previous season. Also, after what he did to my best girl, that still weighs very heavily on me as far as if I can give the show a 6, a passing grade. So, with all those things considered, I am going to award this second season a 5.5 out of 10. And for Mal purposes, I will give it a 6. But the true score will be a 5.5, which means it failed. The reason I'm going to give it a 6 on Mal purposes is primarily because I do see the room for growth. The room where a season 3, similar to our season 3 that we got, where we had completely mind-blowing growth from something like Kaguya-sama, there is hope, if they skip a whole bunch of chapters, that we could see genuine growth between Kazuya and Chizuru. For starters, and I'm going to start with Chizuru, she's going to need a therapist, and a lot of help when she loses her grandma. And I think that because Kazuya still has so many insufferable issues to deal with amongst his own self, that in some of those issues that she's going to be going through, I don't believe he's the right one, because he needs help of his own. But all the same, I do believe that this can be a monumental moment for this series. The reason that I cannot give a straight 6 is primarily because of his behavior for 10 straight episodes, minus a couple of decent points here and there. What he did to my girl was insufferable and unacceptable. And I will never forgive him for that, because he wasted that damn girl's time when she came over to his house. He needs to let Ruka go. Had he found a way to actually let Ruka go by the end of this season and actually focus on dealing with other elements, then this show would have gotten a 6 or 6.5. But because he wasted her time this entire fucking season and never improved on not wasting her time, I will not give the show a pass on that. It has to have a lot of weight. But the strengths was Chizuru, Sumi, and his presentation in episode 12. So, and then of course getting to see the backstory of the grandparents. So, that is my opinion, my raw opinion, and obviously I will go into a lot of deep thought about this, and when another one of my good friends that is watching the show actually gets a chance to watch it, I will talk with them, and if I feel that I need to revise this score, which I doubt because I'm pretty hard set now on the 5.5, 6 for mal purposes, 5.5 for my actual rating, then I will let you guys know in my top 10 reaction chat when we get to that video. So, guys, that's it. That is your second season of Rent-A-Girlfriend, and I actually am adding the Rent-A-Girlfriend proper title back and not going to end this with Rent-A-Trash because we had a considerably better season finale this season than we did in the first season. So from me to you, thank you so much for watching the Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 2 reactions. This concludes all of my reactions to this series for now. I will think about if I'm going to react to the third season. And again, as I told you guys, it was announced immediately after the episode dropped that Season 3 is already in production because obviously there is nothing short of source material. So it was very easy to go immediately into a third season production. I'm going to assume that the third season will drop in 2023, probably in the summer or fall. So we will definitely see, and I will announce at that time if I am going to proceed with reacting to this show or not. But a big thank you to all of you for all of your dialogue. I hope, for better or worse, you found some enjoyment out of this season and that it wasn't all a complete waste of your time. And I do hope you guys enjoyed the finale that we were given today. So thanks a lot. I hope you guys will enjoy the rest of my finales for other shows that are still wrapping up. And if you do see me in Season 3, I'll catch you then.